All right. I think it's time for the GUI. All right, let's get on with this. Let's get on with this GUI for day 11 of Advent of Code. I want to see what that seating chart GUI actually looks like. I want to see what that cellular automaton does on the screen. So what I've done here is I've started a new project, which you can see here, and it's using the Quil framework. Quil is a framework for doing simple GUIs in Clojure. It's based on the Java platform, the Java framework named processing. So it's a shim on top of processing. And you should look that up because it's actually a very pleasant way to do simple GUIs without mucking around with all that horrible, stuff in Java, whatever that stuff is. Okay, so I created this. Now, this project gets started with a few missing components because the template doesn't do everything it ought to do. The Linigan template doesn't. So let me just show you what I did there. So first of all, we've got to go to project.klj, and there's a few things to add that make things a little bit easier, like you should tell it what the main program is. Otherwise, when you do a line run, it doesn't know what to start up, and it's a reasonable idea to add some kind of a test framework in. So I did all of this stuff to make sure that Speckle J is in there, and unfortunately I couldn't use the line new Speckle J template because I used the Quil template, and for some reason you cannot combine templates in Linigan, as far as I know at least. So all right. Couple of other things you've got to do, like I had to build the spec directory here, and I had to put the namespace in, and I had to create, the initial spec file with all of this stuff. And of course, when you do that, IntelliJ needs to reload everything. So, it's a little bit of a hassle to set it all up. And then finally, in the core program, which it generates for you, it's awfully nice to put this line in there so that it can see the main program and actually execute it, and you have to add that line at the end. And I believe that's everything that I did. And by the way, when you do this line Quil thing, what it gives you is a little application that does this. Let's see if we can make it work. Oh, isn't that clever? Okay, all right, well, fine. We don't actually want it to do all of that, so we're going to quit that. And okay, what do we want? Well, what we want is to display our cellular automaton on the screen, and we want to see how it changes. So let's just set that up. It shouldn't be too hard, he said. Okay. All these comments are just such a pain. Let me get rid of all these horrible comments. Yeah. And I don't want it to be... okay. Phooey on this. Whatever that is. Okay. That's the setup function. The setup function actually has to return the initial world. We won't have it do that yet. I don't want color mode HSB. God, who would want that? So we're going to make it RGB. And okay, update state. Update state is what gets past the existing world, and it will return the new world. Well, we don't want to do anything with that just yet, so we're not going to do this. So we'll just do that for the moment. And then here's the function that actually draws everything. Okay, and the background, well, the background should probably be white, huh? So they've got a background here of 240. That I think that's actually 240, 240, 240. I think I can make it 255, and that would make it pure white. Pretty sure. By the way, we should probably go get the Quil cheat sheet. So let's go get the Quil cheat sheet because that's pretty useful. I'm going to pull that down here. Yeah, okay, so that I can get it. And just so that we see, that background thing. Let's just take a look at background. We'll click on background and it says, oh yes, if you pass in one argument, then that's the grayscale. Otherwise, you could pass in 3 arguments for RGB, or you could pass in 4 and include an alpha. Well, we don't want to include an alpha, so never mind that. Good enough. The rest of this stuff, I'm not going to even mess with. That's just nonsensical, so I'm going to just do that. Lovely. And now here's the sketch. Well, okay, let's do this one. Advent of Code Day 11, cellular automaton. Yes. All right. And let's give it a reasonable size. Now, you remember the grid that went into the input? That was like 100 by 100. So let's make this 1,000 by 1,000. A nice big grid. And that ought to give us plenty of room for our little icons on the screen. Yes, okay, we're going to have a setup function called setup. There it is up there. Yes, okay. And we're going to have an update function called update state. Yes, there it is. And we're going to have a draw function called draw state. Yes, there it is. Features keep on top. I don't know that that's necessary. Let's not do that. And we're not going to mess with the middleware fun mode. That is what we want. We want a functional program. So now, if I run this, I should get nothing but 1,000 by 1,000 blank screen, and it should be dirt white. Okay, there it is. Dirt white. What is dirt white? Anyway, Snow White. How about Snow White? Yeah, we got a nice 1,000 by 1,000. That's probably good enough right there. Okay, let's quit that. Okay, now we're gonna draw things. Well, okay. We want to get a world, right? And in order to get a world, I want to input our worlds from somewhere, maybe that input file. And we've got a function already, parse world, or parse input, I think it was called. Let's see if we can get that. Let's go back to our day 11 application, and let's go get some of this code. I'm just going to copy and paste this code in because, why wouldn't you do that? Honestly. So, let's see. I want to get all of this interesting stuff. Let's just do this all the way down. Okay, I'm going to copy that. And I'm going to go into our GUI. And I'm not going to put it... Yeah, I am going to put it up there. All right, so I'm going to put it up there. That's fine. Lovely. Good. I can put it in a different module, but all I want to do is see this thing work. So that's fine. Actually, no. Let's put it in a new module. So let's go over here and let's add a new module, a new namespace, new closure namespace, and we'll just call this the data namespace, right? So this is the data for the day 11 stuff. All right, so that's GUI data. And now let's take this and paste it all in there. That's nice. I think that will compile just fine. And I'm just going to create a world. Let's get, and all right, so let's do this. Go back to GUI data. Okay, here's our GUI data. Lovely. And now let's get a world. Well, we've got the code that does that, and that's back in the 11, the day 11. So let's go back here and let's get, oh heavens, our test data. Let's just get our test data. Yep, okay. We'll get that, that's nice. And now let's go back to the GUI and let's just see if we can draw the test data. So let's create the test data there. There it is. There's the test data. Yes, yes, lovely. Now we want to draw it. Well, okay, let's do this. Let's say that our setup, where am I? Oh, I'm in GUI data. Well, that's fine. Let's go to GUI core. GUI core, good. Yeah, it requires Quil core, and let's have it require day 11 core. No, I want GUI dot data as data. Good. Okay, and now in our setup function, let us return data slash input. Well, there's that. Data slash test data. Here we go. Yeah. We're going to return that from our setup. So that will be our initial world. Update state is going to do nothing to it. It's just going to return the state. So there will be no dynamics going on here. And now that world is going to be passed in there. Let's do a few other things here. Let's make this a dictionary and give it the tag world so that I can add things to it later. So setup will build this initial dictionary, this initial map. Okay, and now when we draw state, it's that map that's going to come in. So, in fact, let's do this. Let's destructure it. Like so. Okay. We've got our background of white. That seems reasonable. Now what we want to do is draw a bunch of stuff. Let's work out the coordinate system first. Let's see. It's 1,000 by 1,000. And we're not going to need any more than 100 by 100. So we've got 10 pixels to work with in both directions. Right? Okay. So let's do this. Let's say 4. And we've done this before, haven't we? 4 C in count R in count rows, count world, Bob, and C in count the first of world. Okay, perfectly reasonable. Okay. Now, let's just draw a dot. Okay, so this is going to be Quil slash ellipse. Okay, so do I have Quil? Oh, it's Q. Okay, Q slash ellipse. Let's spell it correctly. Ellipse, good. And that's going to be x, y, width, and height. Okay, well, x and y is going to be times 10. Okay, this is going to be row. Yeah, like so. And times minus 10, because y goes down. 0, 0 is the top left point. Which of course means this is going to be upside down, I think. No, it's going to be right as we go down. Yes, okay, so that's fine. And then width, and let's make it 5 by 5. So the circles will be 5 by 5. And they'll be at the upper left corner of a 10 by 10 square. And then we should probably set the fill mode So Q/fill, and let's just fill it with black. Now, oh yes, yeah, there's got to be a do. Oh, you know what? A 4 won't work at all. It's got to be a do seek because I don't use the value it returns, so the 4 is lazy and it just won't evaluate it at all. So it's got to be a do seek. Yeah, okay, I think that's probably going to work. Let's see. If that works, we should get a grid of bunch of dots. Heavens, no such namespace string at GUI data 15. Well, piffle on that. Oh, because I didn't bring any of that in. Let's go get all of the inclusions from day 11, which was what? Let's see, we want cores. Oh, yes, right, okay. So we're going to need that. Probably that much of it. Good. And we'll go back up to the GUI. And in the GUI data, we will put that. That should solve the string problem. So let's run it again. Oh, look, heavens. Oh, we've got a window. And it's white. And now we've got errors down here. See the errors down there? So the errors down there are, this is how you debug a Quil program. Don't know how to create iSeek from Java lang integer. Don't know how to create iSeek from Java lang integer in core kludge 19. GUI core kludge 19. There it is. So do seek r count world. C is going to be the count of the first world. And it says, don't know how to create an iSync from a Java lang integer. I probably want that C there, don't I? I don't know if that was the problem, but I'm going to go with that for the moment. Yeah, that's stupid, isn't it? Yes, we want that. That's stupid. Okay, so we're going to erase most of that nonsense. Okay, and let's run that. Ah, now look what we got. We printed something. There's something there. It's not great, though. But you can see 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Okay, that's interesting. Now, why did it do it that way? It's like it did not do... Ooh, yes. So, this is 10 times R and 10 times C, but that's not quite right, is it? Because we want the rows to, we want the columns. Okay, first of all, it's rows that are negative. That's the white. And so let's actually close that row. And this is going to be the columns. Okay, so columns should go from 0 to 9. The rows should go from 0 to 9. And then you want to go from 10 to 19, right? So this is the y coordinate. The y coordinate continues down into the row. It's going to work. Let's see what happens. No, I still got something wrong, but it's not too wrong. Well, I'm not going to multiply by minus 10. That's stupid. Jeez. Okay, now what's going to happen is that it'll be upside down. But I don't care if it's upside down, do I? Yeah, there's our grid. Probably needs to be offset a little bit. So let's offset it just a little bit. Let's see. What should our offsets be? I'm going to do that up here. And let's give it a 10. And let's do def y offset 10. That way we can change these later. And so then this is going to be plus, this is going to be x offset, which is that, good. And then this is going to be plus y offset. And, oh, by the way, you know, there's a better way to do this. Here. Let's not do that at all. We're just going to say, right here, we're going to say q/translate 10, 10. Now, if I remember this correctly, that's just going to move the coordinate system down and to the right by 10. So let's just do that. Yeah, that's exactly right. Okay, except that we don't want to do that every time, do we? So we're going to come up here, do that outside of the loop. Okay, Bob. And I think that's going to do what we want. Yes, there we go. Okay, so that's our little 10 by 10 grid. Well, isn't that pleasant? All right, so now let's actually draw them. So instead of drawing an ellipse, let's do this. Cond P of equals of get, this is going to be data / get cell world R and C, right? And if that is equal to a empty, then we want to print an empty chair. Okay, draw empty chair. Yep, okay, at R and C. Lovely. If it is a person, then we're going to draw a person at R and C. And if it is floor, we're going to draw floor R and C. Oh, isn't that pretty? Okay, fine. Okay, and we're not going to draw the ellipse. And it's going to be, we'd better do the R and C calculations here. So let's do this. I'm not even going to do that. I don't want to fill it because I'll put that in the draws. And right here, I'm going to say let R be times R10. And let C, and Bob put the square bracket in. And get the let around the whole thing. Went around too much, didn't it? Yeah, all right. So undo that. Probably want to do this. Okay, fine. Yeah, that's good. Okay, so now the let goes around the whole thing. And it goes around just that function. C is times C10. That's fine. Lovely. Okay. And now I don't need to draw the ellipse. Okay, and let's draw these functions. Okay, defin draw empty chair. What is this? R and C. Lovely. And we want to have here, let's do it this way. Draw empty chair, draw floor, and draw person, I think it is. Yep, draw floor, draw person, draw empty chair. Lovely. Okay. And just to make sure that we're in the right spot here, let's call this a Q/fill 0. That's going to be black. And we will draw Q/draw ellipse. Yeah, ellipse. RC 8, 8. Fine. Okay. And to draw the floor, let's do this. Let's say Q/fill, and we'll make this gray 128. That's kind of a dark gray. Fine. And we'll say Q/, well, I kind of want to do this. We'll still make it an ellipse for the moment. Let's make it smaller. So floor is going to be small. Now, person. Let's do red, green, blue. So this is going to be 255, 0, 0. This is going to be red. Q/ellipse of R and C and 8 and 8. Okay. Now, if I did that correctly, we should see it properly decode this. And we do not. Instead, we get a problem, and the problem is index out of bounds array at data 20. Well, let's see why that would be the case, and I think I know what the case is. Yes. Using R and C. All right, so let's call this row. Oh, I know. Let's call that Y, and we'll call this one X, and this is going to be X and Y, and no, this is R and C. R and C. Get cell R and C, but that's going to be X and Y, and this is going to be X, and this is going to be Y, and this is going to be X, and this is next one's going to be Y, and there. So X and Y are the coordinates, and R and C are the indexes of the cell. Okay. Jeez. Oh, looky there, looky there. Okay. So what we've got is a bunch of empty seats and floor and no people, which is right for that particular one. Well, now that's really interesting, isn't it? So I am now tempted to run it. Okay, let's see. Update state. Well, once again, we can destructure this. Okay, we're going to get the world out of there. But we want to remember that it is as state. I think it's something like that. And let me just look up the destructuring there. Well, okay. I presume this is correct. I spent a little time looking it up. I didn't see it right away, and it's easy to check. So let's do this. I want to say assoc into state world of what is it, update automaton? And that would be data / update automaton of world. I think that's all there is to it. So I'm just going to return a new dictionary with the new world. Let's see what happens. Oh, that was interesting. I think it went very fast because we're doing this 30 frames per second. So I think I can slow that down by changing the frame rate. I don't know if that always works. I've had mixed reactions with that, but where is that? Translate 1010. Yeah, so I don't need the X and Y offsets, do I? All right, so let's try running that with a frame rate of 5 and see if it runs a little slower. Oh, yes, it definitely does, and it did work. Okay, here, let's do it with a frame rate of 1. Maybe we can actually watch it work slowly. So, okay, that's good. Ooh, yeah, look at that. Ding, ding. Boom, boom, and it's done. And it's done. Okay, well, that's nice. All right, let's draw them just a little bit better, shall we? So, an empty chair. An empty chair is going to be an L-shaped thing. So let's draw that as being, how about this? An empty chair is going to be an open circle. So we will fill it with white. And we will make sure it has a stroke. I think that's it, of black. Now, an empty chair, if we draw that, should be an open circle. Ah, we definitely have open circles. And red is now a filled circle. And the floors are big dots. Well, that's not quite very interesting. So let's make the floor nothing. I don't need to draw the floor. Why would I draw the floor? Or maybe we could, well, no, I mean, well, how about this? How about this? Let's make it a really, no, let's just not draw it at all. We're not going to draw the floor. Okay. Now let's try. Okay, I kind of like this. I kind of like the way that's going. Yeah, okay. Looks like I've got several things running at once down here. Okay. Well, now we wanted to see the big one, right? So let's see the big one run. So let's go to Q data, and let's say def real data, which is the slurp of input. Good. And then we're going to do a parse on it. And let's do the real data. Okay. So let's do GUI core. Yeah, all right. And we're going to come down here into our setup, and we're going to say data slash real data. And let's just see. Shall we see? I mean, don't you want to see this? It's going to blow up, isn't it? I mean, as soon as I hit this run button, something wrong. Okay, let's see. Let's just see. I think I did all the math right. Yeah, it said what? Let's see. Execution error, file not found. Oh, yes, because it's not input here. I told you it was going to blow up. It's not input here because I'm a directory down. So let's try that. Okay. Ooh. Okay. Oh, look at that. Okay. Ooh. Cool. Cool. Oh, look at that. Now you may notice that this is not evenly spaced, right? I mean, the timing looks like it's not 1 second. Boom. And the reason for that is that it actually takes longer to fill a circle than to draw an empty circle. So we're seeing a little bit of that here. You know, and we're drawing close to 10,000 circles. Isn't it interesting, right? So, I mean, the seats fill up from the edges out, right? Or the pattern establishes itself from the edges out and then focuses into the center, and that gets smaller and smaller and smaller. Well, okay. I mean, there you go. Now we've seen the GUI. Did you click subscribe? Click subscribe. Look at that. I tell you what, simple pleasures for simple people, huh?